So for a recent build that I was doing for a client of mine, there was a desk and home office and sort of a kind of an integrated library section, and they didn't want any cables showing for the portion of the desk where they were going to have printers and phones and computer cables and all the rest of it. So to allow access for cables to come up from under the desk up above to the peripheral components of the computer, we needed to come up with a design to basically make the hole in the desk look pretty. Now, it's a fairly standard thing in commercial kind of office settings for desks. You have an 80mm hole with a plastic cap. The client wasn't happy with just a plastic cap, so I went over to easel and effectively designed the same thing, but to be made out of solid timber. So I knocked up a sketch on easel, CNC'd out a prototype, and then made sure that the CAD program that I'd drawn actually would work. So I just used a bit of scrap plywood and a little off-cut thin oak to make sure that the proof of concept. And then I went over to use a piece of poplar and carved out the actual parts that would be used for the project. Now, because I was cutting out of quite a thick piece of poplar, I needed to resaw the little cap pieces. They're the bits that look kind of like the Jedi Rebellion. I don't know, I'm not a Star Wars person, but the little hole with a hole cut out of it. And then I could route out the hole in the desk that needed to be placed, obviously, as close to the back of the desk as possibly could get it, in the corner, be hidden by the monitor. Now, the big thing here was to make sure the template was in the right place so that the router with the handles would clear the walls. Once I was happy, that was hot glued down, and then a bit at a time, about ½ an inch depth of plunge around the circle to cut out the plug in the middle and make a hole. Hot glue is really easy to get off these melamine desks. You just pull it off, and then with a piece of wood, just scrape any residue that's left on the top there, and it just comes straight off. The bit of wood's soft enough to not be damaged, or not damage the melamine face of the desk, but it's hard enough to move the glue out of the way. There's the little hole, and there's one of the plugs to fit in it, and it looks a lot nicer than just a big gaping hole. Now, for the telephone and the printer, we did exactly the same thing, but using a 35mm hole. Now, because it was going to be so close to the wall, I couldn't get the router in there with enough clearance, so I just used a Forstner bit, drilled out a hole nice and square to the face, and that's basically it. So this was a really fun build. I really enjoyed making it, and obviously the customer was chuffed to bits as well, which always goes a long way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you back here again next time for another video. You take care.